A ship full of alien explorers crashes on the most dangerous planet in the galaxy. The place is rated Class 9. That's the highest death rating possible. Every creature wants to kill you. The air itself tries to burn your lungs. The gravity crushes bones. The storms can level mountains. But when the human crew member steps outside, he smiles. He says 4 words that freeze everyone's blood. Reminds me of home. The aliens think he's gone insane. They've read the reports. Class 9 worlds have a 98% fatality rate. Nothing survives there for long. Entire military units have been wiped out in hours. Yet this human walks into the jungle like he's taking a Sunday stroll. But the truth behind this will shock you, because what happens next reveals something terrifying about Earth. Something the galaxy has been trying to ignore, and something that explains why humans might be the most dangerous species in known space. You're about to discover why Earth has a secret classification, why alien cadets are warned never to visit it, and why one xenobiologist called humans the only species that weaponized their own extinction events. This isn't just about one tough guy. This is about what Earth really is, what it did to us, and why every human carries something inside them that makes Class 9 worlds look gentle. Let me show you exactly how this happened. The ship is called the Celestial Merchant. It's a Class 4 exploration vessel. The crew is mixed species. Most are Valorians. They're tall, gray-skinned, and evolved on a paradise world. Perfect temperature, gentle rain, no predators bigger than a house cat. There are also 2 Krell on board. They're insectoid traders. Their homeworld is all flat plains and warm sunshine. They've never seen a mountain. And then there's Lieutenant David Torres. He's human. He's the security officer. Nobody really knows why Command assigned a human to a simple trading mission. Humans are usually kept on military ships or disaster response teams, places where things go wrong fast. The mission was supposed to be easy. Map 3 systems, document resources, get home in 6 months. Nothing dangerous, but jump drives don't care about safe plans. They hit an anomaly, some kind of gravitational shear. The ship gets thrown 90 light years off course. When they finally stabilize, they're falling toward a planet. The hull is breached. Life support is failing. They have maybe 10 minutes before they hit atmosphere. Captain Valara gives the order. Emergency landing. Brace for impact. They crash hard. The ship cuts a burning path through jungle canopy. Metal screams. 3 decks collapse. When everything finally stops moving, 12 crew members are still alive. Barely. That's when they check the planetary database. The computer takes 5 full seconds to load the file. That's unusual. Data should be instant. When the classification appears on screen, everyone goes silent. Class 9 Deathworld. Planet designation Omega-7. The air is breathable but acidic. The gravity is 1.4 times standard. The temperature swings 40 degrees between day and night. The jungle is full of megafauna. Predators the size of shuttles, insects that inject paralytic venom, plants that explode when touched, fungal spores that can kill in minutes. The database lists 73 known ways to die here, and that's just the documented ones. Survival time for unprepared personnel, 4 hours. Captain Valara looks at her crew. Everyone's injured. 2 Valorians have broken bones. 1 Krell is unconscious. Their emergency beacon is working, but help won't arrive for 6 days. Maybe 7. 6 days on a Class 9 world. She doesn't say it out loud, but everyone's thinking the same thing. They're all going to die here. That's when Torres stands up. He checks his sidearm. He looks out the broken viewport at the jungle, at the massive trees dripping with something that might be water or might be acid, at the shapes moving in the shadows, things with too many legs, things with teeth like swords. And he laughs. Not a nervous laugh, a genuine, relaxed laugh. "Ma'am," he says, "permission to scout the perimeter." Valara stares at him. "Lieutenant, This is a Class 9 world. Yes, Mom, Torres says. I can see that. You understand what that means? Torres nods. He's still smiling. It means we should be fine. Now here's where things get really interesting. Torres steps outside without a full environmental suit, just his uniform and a breather mask. The other crew members watch through the viewport. They expect him to collapse immediately. The gravity alone should crush him. Valorians need exoskeletons to walk in 1.4 standard gravity, but Torres just stretches his shoulders. He rolls his neck. Then he walks into the jungle. Captain Valara activates his helmet camera. The feed shows up on the ship's main screen. Everyone crowds around to watch. The jungle is like something from a nightmare. Trees are 50 meters tall. Their bark is black and covered in thorns. Vines hang everywhere. They're not green, they're purple and red. They pulse like veins. The ground is covered in moss that glows faintly. Insects the size of your hand crawl over everything. Torres moves through it like he's in a park. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't flinch. When a vine swings toward his face, he catches it, examines it, then lets it go. Interesting. His voice crackles over comms. This is a strangler variant. Probably hunts by motion detection. He keeps walking. A sound echoes through the jungle, something between a roar and a scream. It's loud enough to shake the camera feed. The crew on the ship freezes. That's a predator call, a big one. Torres doesn't even turn his head. Territorial display, he mutters. It's trying to scare me off. He pushes through a cluster of ferns. Each leaf is as big as a door. They're covered in fine hairs. The database flashes a warning. Those hairs contain a neurotoxin. Skin contact causes paralysis. Torres uses his knife to cut through them. He's careful not to touch the hairs. He knows what he's doing. 5 minutes into his walk, he finds water, a stream cutting through the jungle. It's moving fast. The water is clear, but there's a faint shimmer on the surface. Chemical residue, probably acidic. Torres kneels down. He pulls out a testing strip, dips it in the water. Waits. The strip changes color. He checks his data pad. pH of 4.2, he says. Not great, but manageable. We can filter this. Back on the ship, the Valorian medic speaks up. How is he not dead? The ambient radiation alone should be cooking him. The science officer checks her scanner. She looks confused. His bio readings are elevated but stable. Heart rate is up 20%. Adrenaline is high. But he's not in distress. That doesn't make sense, the medic says. But it does make sense. If you know about Earth. See, here's what they didn't understand. Humans didn't evolve on a Class 9 world. Earth is officially rated Class 7. That's still in the extremely hazardous category. But the rating system is based on modern Earth. The one after humans changed it. Before humans, Earth was worse. 50,000 years ago, Earth had predators that make Omega-7 look tame. Saber-toothed cats with teeth longer than your forearm. Cave bears that weighed 1,000 kilograms. Dire wolves that hunted in packs of 50. Short-faced bears that could outrun horses. And humans survived all of them. Not by being stronger, by being tougher, by refusing to quit, by adapting to anything. Torres's ancestors walked across entire continents with no shelter. They hunted animals 10 times their size with stone-tipped spears. They crossed frozen wastelands and burning deserts. They ate plants that were toxic just to survive. Their bodies learned to process poisons, to handle temperature swings, to keep going when everything said stop. That's what evolution does. It shapes you for the worst possible conditions. Then when you face anything less than that, it feels easy. Torres isn't superhuman. He's just human. And humans were forged in conditions that make Class 9 worlds look comfortable. He finds a clearing. Something big lives here. The ground is trampled flat. There are claw marks on the trees, deep gouges in the bark. Whatever made them has claws like machetes. Torres crouches down, studies the tracks. They're fresh, maybe an hour old. The creature is massive, probably 3 meters at the shoulder. Quadrupedal, heavy. "We've got a large predator in the area," he reports. "Likely an ambush hunter, stays in the trees, drops on prey from above." "How do you know that?" Captain Valara asks. "Claw pattern," Torres says. "And there's no trail leading away from here. It went up." He looks at the canopy. Somewhere above, something is watching. The crew on the ship can't see it. The helmet camera can't pick it up, but Torres knows it's there. He slowly stands up. He doesn't run. Running triggers chase instinct. Instead, he backs away. Slowly, eyes on the trees. He keeps his hand near his weapon but doesn't draw it. Nothing attacks. He makes it back to the stream. He fills a container with water, marks the location on his datapad. Then he starts back toward the ship. The round trip takes 40 minutes. When he climbs back through the airlock, everyone is staring at him. He's not even breathing hard. There's a scratch on his arm where a thorn caught him. That's it. No other injuries. No signs of distress. "Well," he says, "good news. We can get water. Bad news is we need to set up a perimeter. There's something big in the trees." Captain Valara finally finds her voice. "Lieutenant, how are you alive?" Torres looks genuinely confused. "Ma'am, you just walked through a Class-9 jungle, alone, unarmored, and you're fine." Torres shrugs. "Ma'am, with respect, this is maybe a 6 out of 10. I did survival training in Alaska. That was worse. But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this. Over the next 2 days, Torres becomes the crew's lifeline. He builds a water filtration system from ship parts. He scouts 3 different routes to higher ground. He identifies which plants are safe to touch and which ones will kill you. He even brings back food. The food part terrifies everyone. He returns from a scouting mission with a dead animal. It's reptilian, about the size of a large dog. It has scales like armor and teeth like needles. Torres has already gutted and cleaned it. "Dinner," he announces. The Valorian medic looks like she might faint. "You can't eat that." "Why not?" "It's from a Class-9 world. It's probably toxic." Torres pulls out his scanner. "I checked. Protein structure is compatible. No major toxins. We'll need to cook it thoroughly, but it's safe." "How do you know?" "Because I've eaten worse," Torres says simply. He's not joking. Humans have the most adaptable digestive system in known space. They can process foods that would kill most species. They can eat rotten meat if necessary. They can survive on minimal calories for weeks. They can drink water that's slightly contaminated, and their gut bacteria will just handle it. Evolution on Earth meant eating whatever you could find. Your options were adapt or starve. So humans adapted. Their stomachs became chemical processing plants. Their immune systems became military-grade defense networks. Their bodies learned to extract nutrition from almost anything. Torres cooks the meat over a makeshift fire. The smell is actually good. When he takes the first bite, everyone watches, waiting for him to collapse, to start convulsing, to show any sign of poisoning. He just chews thoughtfully. "Tastes like chicken, bit tougher." He offers some to the crew. Nobody takes it. They're still eating emergency rations. Torres shrugs and keeps eating. But the food is just the beginning. The real revelation comes on day 3. The predator attacks. It happens at night. The creature Torres spotted earlier. It's been stalking them, watching, waiting for the right moment. The right moment is when Ensign Cora, a young Valorian, steps outside to check the perimeter sensors. She's only out there for 2 minutes. But that's enough. The creature drops from the canopy like a meteor. It's massive, easily 4 meters long. It has 6 legs and a mouth full of teeth. Its scales are dark green, almost black. Perfect camouflage. Cora screams. She tries to run. The creature is faster. Then Torres is there. He doesn't have his rifle. He left it inside. He's only got his knife. A simple combat blade, 20 centimeters of steel. He doesn't hesitate. He sprints at a creature that outweighs him 5-1, a creature designed by evolution to kill. And he attacks it. He goes for the eyes first. The blade flashes. The creature roars and pulls back. Torres doesn't back off. He presses forward. He's yelling, making himself loud, aggressive. The creature is confused. Nothing attacks it. Everything runs. This tiny thing should be running. Torres slashes again. He catches the creature across the snout. It's not a deep cut, but it hurts. The creature backs up. Torres advances. He makes himself big, arms wide, voice loud. It's a dominance display, a bluff. Torres is betting everything that the creature will decide he's not worth the trouble. For 3 seconds, nothing happens. The creature and the human face each other in the dark. The jungle is silent. Even the insects have gone quiet. Then the creature turns and crashes back into the jungle, gone in seconds. Torres helps Cora to her feet. She's shaking, unharmed but terrified. He walks her back to the ship. His hands are steady. Inside, everyone is frozen. They watched it happen through the external cameras. They saw a human charge an apex predator with just a knife and win. Captain Valara finally understands. "Your world," she says quietly. "What did it do to you?" Torres sits down. He's coming down from the adrenaline now. He takes a breath. Earth has 23 major climate zones. 7 of them can kill you in hours without shelter. We have predators on every continent. We have weather systems that can level cities, earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, tornadoes, tsunamis. He looks at her. We have parasites that eat your brain, viruses that liquefy your organs, bacteria that can kill you in days. We have plants that cause pain so intense people have killed themselves to make it stop. We have jellyfish whose sting can stop your heart, spiders that can eat birds, snakes that can swallow deer whole. The crew is silent. Torres keeps talking. And that's now. That's after we changed it. After we killed off the megafauna. After we built cities and dammed rivers and cleared forests. Before that, he shakes his head. Before that, Earth was a Class 8 world. Maybe Class 9. But you survived, Valara says. We didn't just survive, Torres corrects. We conquered it. We took the most hostile environment we could find, and we made it ours. Every human alive today is descended from people who looked at impossible odds and said, "Watch this." He stands up, looks out at the jungle, at Omega 7, at this supposedly deadly world. "This place," he says, "this is just Tuesday for us." This brings us to the most shocking discovery of all. On day 5, the rescue ship arrives early. They received the distress beacon and pushed their engines to get there faster. When they land, they expect to find survivors huddled in the wreckage. Maybe half the crew dead. That's standard for Class 9 worlds. Instead, they find something impossible. The Celestial merchant crew is alive. All 12 members. They've set up a functioning camp. There's a water purification system, a perimeter fence made from ship parts, even a small garden where Torres is trying to grow emergency ration supplements in the local soil. The rescue captain is a Drex. That's a species known for military service. He's seen combat on 6 different worlds. He's led recovery missions on Class 7 planets. He considers himself experienced. He takes one look at the camp and his mandibles drop open. "How?" is all he can say. Captain Valara points at Torres. "Him." The Drex captain approaches Torres. He's scanning him with his datapad, checking for genetic modifications, combat enhancements, anything that would explain this. "Your baseline human," he says, like it's an accusation. "Yes, sir," Torres replies. "No modifications?" "Just standard vaccinations, sir. And you survived 5 days on Omega 7. "Yes, sir, we all did." The Drex captain's mandibles click. It's a sign of stress. I need to report this. Report what, sir? That a baseline human not only survived a Class-9 world, but thrived on it. He looks at Torres closely. Do you understand what that means? Torres honestly doesn't. To him, he just did his job, kept people alive, used his training, nothing special, but the Drex captain understands, because he has access to classified files. Files that Torres has never seen. Files that the galaxy's governments keep locked away, because the information is too disturbing. Come with me, the captain says. He takes Torres to the rescue ship, to a secure room. Then he pulls up a file on his terminal. It's marked with the highest classification level, the kind of file that can end careers if leaked. This is the xenobiological threat assessment, the captain explains. Every species gets rated on survival capability, combat effectiveness, adaptability, threat potential. He pulls up the human entry. Torres reads in silence. His expression doesn't change. But inside, he's reeling. Because the file doesn't just rate humans. It explains them. It explains what Earth is, what it does, and why humans are the way they are. Earth, the file says, is a crucible world, a planet that actively tries to kill everything on it. The climate swings wildly, the weather is violent, the geology is unstable. It's a world that should be dead, but instead, it's the most biodiverse planet ever discovered. 8 million species. All of them fighting for survival, all of them evolving at breakneck speed. Earth doesn't produce weak life. It can't. Weak things die before they reproduce. Humans are the apex species of this system. They're not the strongest, not the fastest, not the most venomous or armored, but they're the most adaptable, the most persistent, the most intelligent, and the most dangerous. Because humans don't just adapt to their environment, they change it. They terraformed their own planet before they even had the concept of terraforming. They rerouted rivers, leveled mountains, changed the climate, made entire species extinct, created new species through selective breeding. They weaponized evolution itself. The file has a warning at the bottom. It's written in red text. Human populations should be monitored but not provoked. Direct conflict with humanity as a whole is strongly discouraged. Probability of human victory in total war scenarios. 94%. Torres looks up. This is a joke, right? The Drex captain's expression is grave. I've studied human history. Your species has been at war with itself for 10,000 years. You've invented increasingly efficient ways to kill each other. You've survived ice ages, plagues, asteroid impacts, supervolcano eruptions. You've split the atom and looked into the face of extinction and then just kept going. He leans forward. You don't understand how terrifying that is to the rest of us. Most species evolve on relatively stable worlds. We develop cooperation. We build societies based on resource abundance. We avoid conflict because conflict is costly. But humans? He makes a sound like a laugh. Humans evolved in constant conflict, with your environment, with each other, with everything. Cooperation for you isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about being more effective at conflict. You don't make peace because you love peace. You make peace because you've calculated it's the best strategy. Torres wants to argue, but he can't. Because it's true. Human history is written in blood and ashes. Every major advancement came from war or crisis, fire, agriculture, writing, metallurgy, flight, nuclear power, space travel, all of it driven by competition and conflict. We're not monsters, Torres says quietly. No, the captain agrees. You're survivors, the most effective survivors in the galaxy. And that's what makes you dangerous. Because if pushed far enough, humanity won't just fight. You'll win, and you'll do it by changing the rules entirely. He closes the file. That's why Earth has a secret rating. Official documents call it Class 7. But the real rating? The one in classified files. He looks Torres in the eye. Class 11. Torres goes cold. There is no Class 11. There is now. We created it for Earth because your world doesn't just kill visitors. It creates killers. It takes baseline biology and turns it into something that can walk on Class 9 worlds and call them safe. The Drex captain stands. Your people are spreading across the galaxy, setting up colonies, joining mixed species crews, and everywhere you go, you raise the baseline. You make other species question their limitations. You make the impossible look routine. He pauses at the door. The question isn't whether humanity will inherit the stars. The question is whether the rest of us can keep up. So what does all this mean for us today? The rescue ship takes the celestial merchant crew back to Federation space. Torres returns to duty. The incident gets filed away. But the implications ripple outward like waves from a stone thrown in water. Because Torres wasn't special, he was just a regular human. Standard training, no genetic mods, no special equipment, just a guy doing his job. And if one regular human could do that, what could humanity do as a whole? The galaxy is starting to ask that question, and the answers are unsettling. Within 6 months, 3 different species file complaints with the Federation Council. They're concerned about human expansion. Human colonies are popping up on worlds that were considered uninhabitable. Harsh deserts, toxic swamps, high-gravity planets, places where other species need expensive equipment and constant support. Humans just show up and start building. A Valorian colony administrator puts it bluntly. They're making us look soft. We have species that evolved on paradise worlds. Perfect conditions. And then humans arrive on hellscapes and thrive. It's humiliating. But it's more than pride. It's economics. Humans can colonize planets that other species can't. That gives them access to resources. Territory, strategic positions. In a galaxy where habitable space is limited, that's power. Some species start demanding restrictions. Limit human colony rights, they say. Create reserved zones. Maintain balance. But others see opportunity. Partner with humans, they argue. Let them handle the difficult worlds. Share the benefits. The Federation is caught in the middle. They can't ignore humanity. There are 12 billion humans spread across 200 worlds now. They have their own fleet, their own economy, their own political bloc. They're too big to suppress, too useful to exclude. So the Federation makes a decision. They create the Hostile Environment Corps. It's a mixed species unit specifically for exploring and colonizing dangerous worlds. But the core teams, all human. Torres is offered a position. He accepts. Within a year, he's leading missions to Class 7 and Class 8 worlds, places where rescue teams used to take months to establish a foothold. Torres's team does it in weeks. They're not doing anything special. They're just applying Earth logic to alien problems. When the environment is hostile, you don't fight it directly. You understand it, learn its patterns, use its resources against itself. Find the niches where life can exist and exploit them. It's exactly what humans did on Earth for hundreds of thousands of years. But here's what nobody expected. The other species start learning from humans. Valorian military units begin training in harsh environments. Krell traders start taking risks they never would have before. Drex commanders study human military history and adapt the tactics. Humanity isn't just surviving in the galaxy. They're changing it, raising the bar for everyone, making toughness and adaptability valued traits instead of curiosities. A xenopsychologist named Tara Vex writes a paper that goes viral across Federation space. It's called The Human Effect: How One Species is Redefining Survival. Her thesis is simple. Humans aren't just adapted for Earth. They're adapted for change itself. They evolved in environments so variable that flexibility became their core trait. Other species optimize for specific conditions. Humans optimize for optimization. They can learn any environment, master any challenge, survive any change. The question isn't what humans can survive, she writes. It's what can survive humans. It's meant as analysis. But some species read it as a warning. 3 political factions emerge. The integrationists want to embrace humanity. Learn from them. Build a stronger federation with human adaptability at the core. The isolationists want to contain humanity, restrict their growth, keep them cordoned in specific regions, and the pragmatists just want to stay out of humanity's way. Let them expand, the pragmatists say. Just make sure they're pointing in a direction that doesn't threaten us. None of them ask what humans want. That turns out to be a mistake, because humanity's goals aren't conquest. They're not interested in dominating the galaxy. They just want to explore, to grow, to push boundaries, to see what's possible. That's the Earth mindset, the frontier mentality. It's baked into human culture at every level. What's over that hill? Can we climb that mountain? What happens if we go faster? Other species see this as recklessness. Humans see it as curiosity. But curiosity with the ability to survive anything is a powerful combination. 10 years after the Omega-7 incident, humanity has colonies on 80 Class-7 worlds and 12 Class-8 worlds. They've mapped regions of space that other species considered too dangerous to explore. They've made first contact with 6 new species, 3 of which had been hiding because they thought the galaxy was too hostile. Humans proved it wasn't. Not if you knew how to handle it. And here's the thing that really changes everything. Humans start sharing their knowledge. They teach survival techniques to other species. They help establish colonies on harsh worlds. They train mixed species teams for hostile environment operations. They don't hoard their advantages. They spread them. Some species are grateful. Humanity is uplifting the entire galaxy, they say, making us all stronger. Others are suspicious. Why are they helping us? What do they gain? The answer is simple, but alien to many species. Humans genuinely believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. They want partners, not subjects. They want a galaxy where everyone can push boundaries together. It's the same impulse that made them conquer Earth. Not to own it, but to survive on it, to thrive on it, to eventually protect it. Humans don't see hostile worlds as enemies. They see them as challenges, and once you meet a challenge, you move to the next one. The galaxy is full of challenges. Humans are just getting started. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. 20 years after Omega-7, Torres is retired. He's living on a colony world called Nova Terra. It's a Class 6 planet, reasonable gravity, breathable atmosphere, moderate climate. For most species, it's on the edge of habitable. For humans, it's comfortable. He's teaching survival skills at the Federation Academy. His students are mixed species, young cadets from a dozen different worlds. They're here to learn how to operate in hostile environments. Today's lesson is about threat assessment. Torres takes them on a field trip to Earth. Most of them have never been there. Earth is famous now, the homeworld of humanity, the crucible planet. But it's also expensive to visit, and most species need extensive vaccinations and protection before they can even land. The cadets arrive expecting a fortress world, military installations, defensive structures, the kind of place that breeds warriors. Instead, they find cities, parks, oceans full of people swimming, children playing in forests, old humans jogging through zones that would be classified as Class 4 hazard areas on any other planet. A Valorian cadet named Tessa stares at a nature preserve. There's a sign. Warning, bear activity area. Stay alert. They let predators roam free, she asks, horrified. Torres nods. Black bears. They're mostly harmless if you leave them alone. Mostly harmless, Tessa repeats. It's a predator. It's also scared of you. Torres says. Bears avoid humans. We hunted them so effectively that the ones that approached us got removed from the gene pool. The ones that survived were the ones that ran away. He points to the forest. We did that to almost every large predator on Earth. Taught them to fear us. Not through individual dominance, through generational trauma. They drive past a beach. Humans are surfing. The waves are massive, 4-meter swells. They're crashing with enough force to break bones. That's a disaster zone, a Drex cadet says. That's Tuesday, Torres replies. Humans do that for fun. They visit a mountain range. Torres takes them to a climbing area. Humans are free soloing, climbing vertical rock faces with no ropes, no safety equipment, just their hands and their courage. One slip means death. They're doing it anyway. Why? Asks Tessa. What's the evolutionary advantage? Torres smiles. There isn't one. We just like it. Humans need challenge. When the environment stops providing it naturally, we create it artificially. We invent dangerous sports, extreme hobbies, ways to push our limits. He gestures at the climbers. That drive? That need to test ourselves. That's what made us conquer Earth, and it's what will carry us to every corner of the galaxy. They visit the museum next. The Natural History Museum in Old New York. It has exhibits on Earth's prehistoric past. The cadets walk through rooms full of fossils, saber-toothed cats, cave bears, mammoths, terror birds, short-faced bears, giant ground sloths. Every single one is extinct. Humans killed them all, not through war, through competition, by being slightly better at surviving. You killed your own megafauna, a Krell cadet says. Doesn't that make you feel guilty? Torres considers this. Some humans do feel guilty. We've spent the last few centuries trying to preserve what's left, protecting endangered species, restoring habitats, trying to undo some of the damage. But, Tessa prompts, but we also recognize that survival isn't pretty, Torres continues. Evolution doesn't care about guilt, it cares about what works, and what worked for humans was outcompeting everything else. We can regret the cost while acknowledging the result. They end the day at Torres's home. It's a simple house on the edge of a forest. As the sun sets, the sounds of Earth's wildlife fill the air. Insects chirping, birds calling. Somewhere in the distance, a coyote howls. The cadets are nervous. Those are all potential threats. But Torres just sits on his porch and listens. This is what you need to understand, he tells them. Earth didn't make humans tough by being mean. It made us tough by being indifferent. The planet doesn't care if you live or die. The weather doesn't adjust for your comfort. The predators don't stop hunting because you're tired. So you adapt, Tessa says quietly. You adapt, Torres agrees. Or you die. Those are the only options. And humans? We adapted so well that we stopped being prey and became the apex predator. We're the only species on Earth that nothing hunts. Nothing stalks humans. Nothing sees us as food. Even our largest predators avoid us. Because you're dangerous, the Drex cadet says. Because we're persistent, Torres corrects. A bear can kill a human easily, but it knows that if it does, more humans will come. With weapons, with traps, with determination. It's not worth the risk. Better to avoid us entirely. He looks at his students. That's the real lesson of Earth. Power isn't about individual strength. It's about collective persistence. Humans alone are vulnerable. But humans working together, with communication and tools and the refusal to quit, we're unstoppable. The cadets are quiet. They're thinking, processing, understanding. Tessa finally speaks. Sir, when you were on Omega-7, you said it reminded you of home. Did you mean that? Torres nods. Every word. The danger, the uncertainty, the need to stay alert. That's what home feels like to a human. We're not comfortable with safety. We're comfortable with manageable risk. That's insane, the Drex cadet mutters. Torres laughs. Maybe, but it's also why we're out here, teaching you, sharing what we learned, because the galaxy is dangerous, and the only way to survive danger is to understand it, accept it, and push forward anyway. He stands. Class dismissed. Tomorrow we're going to the Australian outback. That'll really test what you've learned. The cadets groan, but they're also excited, because they're starting to understand. Earth isn't special because it's harsh. It's special because it proved that harshness can be continued 7:44 p.m. conquered. That adaptation is possible. That life finds a way. And humanity is proof that sometimes life doesn't just find a way. It finds every way, and then invents new ways just for fun. If this opened your eyes to what humanity really is, you need to hear what happened next. Let's recap what we've uncovered. Humans aren't superheroes. They're not genetically enhanced warriors. They're products of Earth. A planet so hostile it forged a species that can walk on Class-9 worlds and call it Tuesday. A species that doesn't just survive hostile environments, but thrives in them. A species that teaches persistence, adaptability, and the refusal to quit. The galaxy thought Class-9 worlds were death traps. Humans proved they were just challenges. And that changes everything. Because if humans can do that, what else is possible? What other impossible barriers can be broken? Torres and millions like him are answering that question every day, pushing boundaries, exploring new worlds, teaching other species that the limits they believed in weren't real. They were just accepted, and humanity is just getting started. The frontier is endless, the challenges keep coming, and humans keep meeting them with the same response they've had for hundreds of thousands of years. Watch this. If this story amazed you, hit that subscribe button. We're covering humanity's journey through the galaxy every week. From first contact stories to the wildest survival tales you've ever heard. You don't want to miss what comes next. Drop a like if you never realized just how insane Earth actually is. And leave a comment with your answer to this question. If you could visit any hostile world in the galaxy with a human guide, which one would you choose and why? There's another story you need to hear. It's about what happened when humanity made first contact with a species that evolved on a paradise world. The culture clash was unbelievable. The ending will blow your mind. That video is coming up next. Go watch it now. Thanks for watching. Stay curious. Stay bold. And remember, the only real limits are the ones you accept. Humans stopped accepting limits a long time ago. Maybe it's time you did too.